welcome back to For the Fans, where tonight we are going to be talking about this very fun second episode of Survivor 43, where we saw everything from ass tattoos to beads
Again,
to a blind side. We had it all. So
was it a blind side?
I think it was a blind side. I think
I
she
don't
was
think it
shocked.
was a
Noelle
blind
was
side.
shocked. I think we had a blind side.
It wasn't quite a blindside.
I don't know. We'll talk about it, but I don't think it was.
One person was blindsided, and they weren't the person that went home. So,
Yep.
All right. Well, Kevin, Sheldon, how are y'all doing tonight?
Awesome.
I'm good, man. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I'm happy to be talking Survivor for the first time this season. So this is going to be, I guess, second time because I did do the assessment.
You did.
Man, how about which one of you guys had the girl with Mariah?
Mariah.
I
Which
had
one of you guys-
Mariah.
I believe you guys have talked a lot about how great Mariah was going to be, and
I never said that.
hopefully,
I never picture. I said she wouldn't make jury.
Kylie
Wouldn't make
had her
merge.
going far.
I had high hopes for her.
Man,
But
wow, Kylie.
Sheldon had our newest casualty member. So
Yeah, so that's just insane. It's just insane. But I'm happy to be here to talk about it and talk about the things and talk about how my guy from Stanford's not doing terribly at all.
Yeah. Seriously. Kevin, what are you thinking about the season? Just overall thoughts since you didn't join us last week.
Overall thoughts through 2 episodes. I'm really liking these hour-and-a-half long episodes. I think they come to an end this week or next week. I don't think they're lasting the whole time. I think there's something going into the 10 o'clock time slot.
yeah, the love boat.
The Love Boat. Yeah.
Nobody needs that. The real Love Boat.
I don't, man. I think the real Love Boat has a lot of money behind it. You have Jerry O'Connell, who's on the talk, who's hosting. I think Rebecca Romaine. It's another love show, and it's a semi-original
Rebecca
concept.
Romaine. Nobody makes friends with lettuce. What do you mean? It's Romaine business.
I think it had a good opportunity to like really do something, and it's the reason that Taylor Hale got a trip on a cruise. So, I'm here for it.
Are you going with her?
No, Joseph is. I don't know if you know.
By the way, are they like Monty's 100 gone?
Monty's gone.
And is she with Joseph?
Is this much more with Joseph? By day. Yeah, they're taking it day by day.
I'm waiting for the wedding because they're gonna have a Robin Amber style wedding on CBS.
It was funny because she said that all the jailer fans wanted her to get married and everything, but we're not there yet, guys. But we are taking it day by day. We're figuring things out. They're enjoying each other's company.
The two of them are so good for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. And Monty is, he's done. Monty's cooked. I have no idea what Monty. He's there hanging out.
I think he might be out there booing up with Amira.
I heard that too, but I don't know if that's true.
This must be the worst week of Monty's life. He lost a lot of money. He looked completely like an idiot. I'm sorry. He was duped. He duped himself. Nobody duped him, but like poor and he lost the girl. Wow.
But that's enough Big Brother talk.
Yes.
We are here now to talk Survivor. And for this episode of Survivor, the season of Survivor is shaping up to be I like some of the new things.
I like it so far. Like I have several people that I'm kind of rooting for. I've liked the little bit of the variation on the Beware Advantage twist that we'll get into tonight. And I think that having like the 2-hour premiere and then the hour and a half, it's only been 2 episodes, but I feel like we really know most of these people. There's still a couple that they haven't given us a lot on, but there's a lot of them that I feel like I can be invested in. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I have to say, I've got a few critiques, but we'll get to that through the night because I don't love absolutely everything. However, when they give us an hour and a half or 2 hours last week, it's a different show. It is so much more intriguing show, and it gives them time to really play with story, as opposed to the usual format of let's go to the beach, let's do a reward, let's go back to the beach, let's do an immunity, let's go be scoundrels and plot. Like it gives us the ability to see so much more, and it's different. And like I think that they're doing amazing. And one of my favorite things that I have to thank Survivor for is no more Jeff to camera. That shit last season where Jeff would look at the camera every few minutes and talk to the
I loved him breaking the fourth wall.
I hate it. It was for me such a turnoff, and I'm so happy I haven't seen it yet. And I hope, like, I'm praying, because for me it ruins the authenticity of the show. It takes me out of the
authenticity.
Fact that it takes me out of Fiji because I don't want to talk with Jeff. All I need Jeff for is to make fun of the players while they're losing. That's what I need Jeff for. That's it. And then I just want to watch the players. I don't need Jeff to talk to me. I don't want him to give me winks and hints of I don't care. No more. Thank you.
All right. Well,
hold on though. With the breaking the fourth wall, like Jeff has been with us for 20 years, right? Yeah. So he's, Sheldon, you are aware that they're not like stranded on a deserted island. You know that they're playing a game.
Yeah, they are.
No, so surprise, Sheldon.
Like there is a crash every 2 times a year. There's a plane crash, and all 18 of them go.
That's why last season 41, drop the 4, keep the 1. They like pulled back and showed you the camera crew to show you surprise, this is a TV show.
No. So and there's a reason why we're not seeing any of that, because I was not the only one who felt this way.
I know, because you people need to switch gears and be okay with new things.
Excuse me, don't put that bullshit on me. I'm sorry. I am completely okay with new things. The thing is that some new things don't work. For me, that didn't work. For me, the amazing idea of this new Beware advantage with the hat and the bee, that
we'll
worked.
Talk about that. The Beware advantage is not about the hat with the bees, but yes, we'll talk about that.
But, excuse me. I don't know what's going on here, but I love my hat and I love my beads.
All right, let's reel it back in. Let's talk about this specific episode, and we are going to pick up going back to the Baca Beach after Tribal Council, and we get to see a side of Owen that maybe we didn't get to quite see in the premiere, and he's a little paranoid, maybe a little high strung, and he's thankful, like, thanks for being who you said you were. Thanks for, giving me your word and following through. Appreciate it. So, I mean, you've got to think there's got to be a special level of paranoia when you go to your first tribal council and you don't want to be that first boot. And you know that your name is the other one being floated around. That has to be hard.
Yeah, and look, he did the right thing. In that moment, he absolutely did the right thing. He looked at them. He said, thank you. He was grateful. What else is he supposed to, like, he played it well, even though he was shitting his pants.
Yeah.
All right. We also get Gabler here, right? As soon as
Gobbler
kicks off.
Man, like, I already told you, he was not, like, I was not a fan going into this thing, and then the things that he does first in the first episode, and then like you said right here, we go right into him not being able to really keep up, man.
Yeah, he's like, guys, we got to find some food tomorrow. I'm running on fumes. And while I don't think that me and Gabler would be, like besties on the beach, but there's just something about Sammy that rubs me the wrong way. And he makes this condescending comment to Gabler where he's like, it's only day 4, man. Only day 4, my brother, or something like that. And I was just like, oh, I don't like that.
Oh, I love it because he's so right. Sammy's 100% right. This man comes on Survivor, and a few days in, he's already complaining. He's already not able. Look, Rudy was in his 70s. Come on, Gabler.
I agree, but I just don't like him saying it. There's just something. and I think it's the fact that like knowing that he's 18 years old, just how condescending it sounds.
It's your preconceived notions about Sammy that has you not liking it. He is 100% correct. Sheldon's right. This man should not be breaking down after 4 days. And if you are, which is fine. I mean, I would be. That's why I would never play Survivor. That's why I'm sitting here talking about this on the internet and not playing in the game. Because I would never be able to handle it.
That's the only reason. Like, no,
so you know, Suri got up off her couch and went and played. I stayed on my couch and watched her. That is the difference between me and Suri Fields. We're both geniuses. We're both very good strategists. The main difference is she got up and did something about it, and I continued to watch. That was the main difference.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
like, to me, they're completely teeing up the fact that Gabler, I don't think he's being voted out of this game. I think he's quitting. Like, I think we're watching.
He might quit.
We're an episode or two from him running away.
I think that's a strong possibility, but I want to make sure it's clear that I'm a Sammy fan. I've been a Sammy fan from the jump, and I love the fact that he's clocked Gabler as like a dude that should not be here.
Yep. Can I say, like, one of the things I like about Sammy is that he is the more socially apt Michael, that other 18-year-old kid or whatever his name is.
Michael Yerger?
Yes.
Michael
was like shy, and Michael, it was hard for him to make, like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's extremely bright. I think Sammy is
right. But I don't think he knows what he's doing. I don't think Sammy is going to be a great player. I think that we're going to see Sammy go down in a blaze of glory, much like JD.
I don't know.
I don't see the maturity from Sammy that you got from like Michael Yerger. I see a lot of immaturity there. And, you know, maybe some of it is just from the get-go, just haven't quite gelled with it. And I mean, I gotta just say it. So we get this terrible storm that they have to sleep through. And Sammy gives this confessional of, you know, this isn't like back at home where I can go to the convenience store and I can call my mom and she can come pick me up.
So when he said that, I said here, and Sammy's from Las Vegas. So I was like, does he go to like the Terribles? Or does he go to like the 7-Eleven? Like, what convenience store do I think he goes to here in town? Does he go to Speedy Mart?
I wonder like where beside his house, the one that he can walk to.
Right. Which is what I was thinking. Like, you know, what side of town does he live on? Does he live in like the north side? Does he live on the south side? I was just thinking of like to myself about Sammy and his whereabouts here in the city as I was sitting there watching that part of it.
That's a little creepy, but there was a time when you could take out the yellow pages and find that out very quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we don't live in that age anymore, Boomer. We live in that.
Yeah, but
you don't have a phone book?
No.
Things like that really, really show his age. And I mean, I know he's doing it in a confessional, but that's still his mentality of like, oh, I can't call my mom.
Yeah, but fine. That's not like you like I call my mom every day. Like I just spent time with I was just kissing her 10 minutes ago. Like it was great. Like I love my mama. Not like that, Kylie.
All right. We will come back because, you know, we've still got some stuff going on this little old yellow tribe. But next we get a peek in on the Bessie Tribe, and that is our crazy red tribe. And we're going to get to spend a lot of time with them tonight, which I enjoy. And immediately we've got, you know, these pairing ups. We've got the girls, Noelle and Justine. We've got Nneka and Cody. And then you kind of have Jesse and Dwight here kind of in the middle where Jesse might lean a little more towards Cody's side and Dwight leans a little more towards the girls' side. But Jesse, very astutely, I really like this from him, is like, I'm gonna make Dwight mine.
Well, it was smart because Dwight was very obviously a free agent, if you will, in that situation. Because the two girls linked up really quickly, and Cody's insanity linking up with Nneka's calmness just made it an easy pairing for the two of them. Yeah. So Jesse looks around and says, I need a second. I need someone here with me. And the kid from Stanford is just hanging out. I can make that my second. And sure enough, he does.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I look, you're right. It was the right move for Jesse. And I think Jesse, until the end of the episode, and we could talk later about next episode, what I think might happen. But like, he seemed to be in a really good position. My only fear as I was watching him was he really felt gamey to me. And he even said something when he was talking to Dwight, like, hey, when me and my wife need to talk real, we say we're going to go have pineapple chat. And like, to me, he's trying too hard. Like to me, it's like a really bad salesperson. So I was like, I think he was doing the right things, but I'm really a little bit worried that Jesse's kind of overplaying, especially when it's day 4. Like, this is not time yet.
I find him extremely authentic. I feel like the only time where he came across like inauthentic was when Justine, I mean, we're jumping way ahead, but when Justine basically is like, hey, you're the swing vote. And he's like, what? I thought I was trustworthy. That was the only time where I was like, that's how I would have handled it too. I'd have been like, I'm not going to vote you out, Justine, girl. We're good.
I think Sheldon's correct. He's extremely game body to me. He's making moves. He's making in-game moves on day 4, and I was going to talk about it more later, and I'll talk about it more later. But that's one of the bigger problems, right? Is that we're nowhere near that situation at this point.
He wasn't at risk. Like there was no need for too much. All he had to do was make friends with Dwight. Like, that's all he had to do.
Correct. And even if he tells Dwight, hey, you're my number one, I'm your number one.
That's it.
Great. And
no
even
need
if you
to bring
go
up pineapples.
Correct. Well, and that's a little bit later. But if you're saying, hey, me and my wife make all of our decisions together, I want you to be like my island wife. That Dwight was like, look, I ain't got nobody else. This works for me. Let's make these decisions together. And I thought that was a good move, but the insistence on the honesty part is the
well. Look, I am going to fast forward a little bit ahead, because to me, like, the fact that he is playing this hard and he's committing so much to Dwight, and then fucks him over.
Does he? Because we don't get to see.
But he lied. Like, I'm sorry, if you're my number one,
finish their conversation. We see him saying like, "Hey, do you have a preference?" And Dwight's like, "Yeah, I would prefer."
He obviously didn't tell him. He obviously didn't tell him what he's doing, and I'm sorry. I think I should tell my wife or my husband exactly what I'm doing. If that's really
as the only married person on this panel, I'm going to say that I do not tell my husband every single move of my day, every single day.
I'm sorry. The biggest thing you do in Survivor is cast the vote. That is the biggest thing. You don't tell your husband when you cast the vote?
The problem is we don't know the timing of all of this, and we know what ends up happening right before they go to tribal council. Yeah. And obviously, maybe Jesse didn't get back around to have another conversation with Dwight, who doesn't have a vote, because he's trying to get Cody's vote back. So, anyways. We'll see. We'll see what happens with all this. Okay, but we get a little bit of Cody's craziness. He is out here. He is jumping off of rocks. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I think I'm in love with him.
Oh, man. Like really?
I love him.
Why? He
is everything.
Cody is my least favorite person on this season.
No, he is.
He's my second least favorite person.
He is like so extra. He is doing things that he is doing things that he doesn't need to be doing. That's what Cody's doing. And I'm here for it. I'm here for all of the entertainment. Like, I love the big ass target he has paid in on Justine. Like, that salesman, can't trust them. And knowing that he is a salesman, just all of it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, like here's the thing about Cody that I kind of appreciate about him. The fact he's a big personality.
Hmm.
So if you're a big personality, I think it becomes very inauthentic if you start to pull back the big personality. And the second, if you would try to not jump around those rocks and not like, I think it would be so clear that that's not him. Like it would be the same thing as Marianne stopping to be funny and stopping to laugh and stopping to be silly, right? Right. So I love the fact that he sort of doubled down to the fact that yeah, I'm here every single day, and I don't care about what's going to happen in this game. I'm going to do my best to play the game, but every day I'm here, I'm going to have fun. And I love that about Cody because that's I think that's actually how he hides, to be honest, in this game, because he is always going to be a bigger target than somebody else. He is always going to be louder, more abrasive, more in your face. And to me, I love it. He's big, loud, proud. Now, Kevin says he doesn't really like him. I'm not. I feel like I'm kind of in between Kiley and Kevin. I think he's cool. I think he's fine. I think he's a good character. He's not going to win the game, but I think we're going to have fun watching him destroy some things, including his body.
Watching him literally talk about going into the woods and talk about going and jumping off the thing because he's bored and he just wants to have some fun. Yeah. And the fact that he says, there's a high likelihood you don't win this game, but I'm here for a living. It's tattooed on my ass, a living. I'm like, bro, man, like you two have seen me talk about many players being here for vibes. This man is the embodiment of vibes, and I'm not here for someone that's just here for vibes.
I don't think
what's wrong with being in the Big Brother house for vibes, but not being on the Survivor Beach for vibes? I need
because they're two completely different games. On the in the Big Brother house, you are in a house. It's not as cutthroat. Not everyone can go home. Big Brother, since only 2 people go on the block, you are straight cold chilling. Like if 2 people on the block and it's not you, you're hanging out. You're talking to people.
By the same token, if your tribe wins immunity, then you're straight chilling for several days at a time too.
But how many days is Big Brother?
But so
80 plus
over
days.
A longer period of time.
80 plus days. So there's a lot more time to be chilling. There's no time to be chilling in Survivor.
I'm just gonna say this is contradictory.
So hold on, Kevin. My issue with your argument though is that it's not like he's not playing. He was part of the big reason why Justine was set up as the threat. This move,
what his salesman move? You can't trust salesman move.
No. It's more than that. It was more than that. It was the conversations he had with people. It was putting in the work. It was saying, "Hey, look at what's going on with Justine. Oh, look at what's going on with Justine and Noel." Like it's not like he's not playing. So I don't buy the fact that he's just vibes. I actually think he's gonna do. I actually think he'll be around. To be honest, I think he is gonna go out in glory, in a big fire blaze of glory as well. I don't think he's gonna win this game, but he might be. He's gonna be here, man. He's gonna be here.
Dwight is not a fan, and neither am I.
Okay, so you and Dwight, only 2 people in America.
Yeah. All right. We do get very, very little from the Coco tribe, but basically, once again, we've kind of got this situation set up where we've got the Girls Alliance and we've got Ryan and Gio over here. And Carla's kind of in between the groups, and she can kind of go where she wants to go. But she's seeing a little bit of a problem because she doesn't want to be a third wheel, and she's seeing this bromance blossoming between Ryan and Gio. And they have such a cute little friendship.
But she talks about the bromance between the two of them, if you will, but they're on the outs. Like the girls are together and they pulled in James. So what does she expect them to do?
Right.
Well, she's just trying to figure out the dynamics. And the truth is, they haven't been to tribe. There's nothing to really, she's just talking dynamics. I'm a little bit confused what happened to James Jones. Like, I think he may have left the island for a few days because I did not see the man.
We got very, very little from anybody on Coco.
But it's 2 weeks in a row where last week we had one James Jones confessional.
You're saying last week was week 1.
I know, 2 weeks in a row. The full show.
Like
I want James Jones because I think he might be interesting and fun. So can I just make my one critique of last night's episode? Y'all are really upset today at me. I don't know what's going on. So here's my critique. I usually love when they have the moments of, oh, I went through this really difficult thing in my life. That's why I'm here. I'm going to persevere. I usually love that. Last night, I kind of felt like we had a little bit too much of it, to the point that I was like, where is the game? And I think there might be a little bit of a weird misbalance of what's going on. Particularly, I will say, the person that I was the most confused about was Gio. They gave this whole thing about him growing up and all this stuff and accepting his sexuality and family and stuff. I love hearing those stories. It's great, but I only want to hear those stories if it actually impacts the game. It made sense to me that we got Cody's story about his friend who passed away, and then he's saying, that's why I'm going to go and have a good day every single day. That made perfect sense to me in character development. I found we had this heartfelt childhood scene with Gio, and it led to nothing. I don't know why I needed to hear that.
Sheldon, how cold are you?
Oh, I'm in Canada.
The new Survivor is telling people's personal stories. That's what the show's now about, which is great.
No, I think it's great if it makes sense for if it actually fits.
I mean, I see a little bit what you're saying, in that it didn't necessarily weave itself naturally into this storyline, but
I felt like I was watching Ricky Lake. What is going on?
How often have you watched Ricky Lake? Ricky Lake has salacious stories. This is not a salacious.
When Ricky wasn't very salacious in the good old days. Just one more point, Kylie. I know you were about to come in. I really don't understand what happened with casting a real villain. Give me a villain. I thought we had Justine. I thought we might actually have a real villain. Give me a real villain, please. Somebody. I want Russell. Give me somebody that's going to be there and doesn't give a shit about anybody, doesn't want to prove anything about their lives, doesn't want to persevere. They just want to destroy and win. Give me a villain, please.
They cast real people now, Sheldon.
I want a little villain to fight with the real people. Too much real people. If I want to cry all day, I'll go to the hospital.
They cast people with real stories, man. That's what they're here to do.
Sheldon Kaufman, Cold Heart, Esquire.
That's what I'm hearing. No, man, they cast.
We did have a villain in Shan 2 seasons ago. You know what I mean? Shan is like, hey, I am this pastor.
Shan was a real person.
I take care of people, but out here, I'm going to stab you in the back and walk you out the door. You know what I mean?
Shan was a real person first, and that's what we're seeing. I am shocked that Sheldon is very upset with the show 2 episodes in, because the things that we're getting now are building blocks. You're saying that there's not enough strategy. I mean, Trisha says right here in the comments, you tend to see more about the tribes that are losing because they have more to do strategically, and it's true, because we're going to see the story of the guy about him coming out and being accepted and being homeless, because you're showing his connection to Ryan and how he sees Ryan as like a brother to him because he was homeless and he now has someone that he can look up to, and it explains, as Carla mentioned, that the two of them, they're like thick as thieves. It's building blocks to build characters of the show, because at this point in the game there should not be much strategy going on. In this point of the game, the strategy is, hey, I'm not trying to go home today. Why? Because it's day 4. If on day 4 you're trying to make big moves, then you will be going home day 6. That's kind of how that goes.
All I'm saying, Kevin, and I love watching character development. I do love these stories. I think it's amazing. It's why I look at Marianne and I think of her as such a good winner. It's why I look at Erica and think of her as such a good winner as well.
I think it's just because they're both Canadian.
No. Well, yes, but that's fine. But what I'm saying is, if they're showing me his backstory, it better fit in with something that's going on that week that directly. I'm just saying it's bad storytelling because I'm not.
Don says it right here. I'm gonna
else.
cut you off, Sheldon. They're linking people together to explain future alliances. They're starting it off. It's the second episode, Sheldon.
I'm sorry, him being gay doesn't explain anything to me. Like
I
don't get it. There's
I'll
no
tell you
connection.
exactly what it explains. It explains the fact that he got kicked out of his home. His parents weren't really accepting. He had to really forge it on his own and figure out life on his own. So now that he is out, he's out and proud about it. He's over here linking with Ryan, and Ryan is someone he sees as someone as a connector for him. It's showing you that right there, Sheldon.
And Ryan is a confessional and says, like, I think that what Gio sees in me is that he can be authentically himself.
Yes.
And so,
I was bored. Sorry.
I don't know how you.
Simon Cowell today. I'm Simon Cowell. That's fine. But I was bored. I didn't get it. I didn't feel it.
In an hour and a half episode, it was literally 2 minutes of time.
I know, and that was my worst 2 minutes of time. It felt self-indulgent. That's what it felt like to me. Sorry.
All right, so back on to the Baka tribe. We are going to get Owen's internal monologue where he is begrudgingly going to get water. And I will have to admit that I did not pick up on the reference, but apparently Rob's sister Nino made the same comment of being the junior deputy water boy back in the Amazon. And so here he is 37 seasons later, bringing it back.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
I wanted him to drop that water so bad. Of
course you did.
I wanted
the real villain of the show is Sheldon.
I'm usually not the villain, am I?
Am I the villain?
I'm the one that's giving all of the bad people extra time to make good. Oh my god, I am a villain.
So I loved his internal monologue. I loved how he's like, now I'm over here getting this water, and I hope they're not looking for idols.
I hope they're not looking for idols. And these people are out here saying like they don't need to pee, they don't need to drink water. Your pee looks like chicken bouillon. You need to drink water. Yeah, it was funny. And I love that he is like having to keep this, paranoid, dorky side of him as contained as possible. Like he knows that he's having to do it and he's not completely successful all the time. And luckily he has his, little Ellie here to just, hey, son, calm down, take it down a notch.
Was it a mistake for Ellie to tell them that she's a therapist?
No, I don't think so.
I would be scared to say that.
Why?
I think there's a perception that a therapist is very even keel, has the ability to maybe drive you into a certain direction of thinking. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a scary job for me, just like salesperson.
What job isn't scary, right? I mean, every job has, you're a professor, right? So obviously you have the ability to move minds and hearts. You're able to speak to people eloquently, and you're able to really change people. This is what a perception of a professor, right? Not necessarily Sheldon, but this is the perception of
why I've told you before, if I go on a show like this, I'm a teacher.
Kylie's a stay-at-home mom. She's caring. She's nurturing. It's something that we need to be concerned about. Everyone has a thing that you could turn and put against them. Now,
I'm going to be a garbage man.
Now, the ones that are scary
I'm doing.
Are
Tim Hortons
lawyers.
Employee.
Lawyers and doctors. The reason I would be concerned about them is because I assume that they have money and they don't need this money. So that means they're going to go balls out. That's what my assumption would be for those guys.
I would be more concerned for a lawyer than a doctor.
Yeah.
Because but therapists not at all.
I'm terrible. No, I would be a little bit afraid of terrorists.
I would be terrified of terrorists.
I'm a little bit afraid of terrorists. Also,
I'm way afraid of terrorists, but I'm not afraid of therapists.
All right.
So can we just talk about that Owen scene? I agree. I also love watching that internal dialogue. That internal dialogue also was a little bit of he's really alone.
Yeah.
And I really hope somebody snatches him up very, very quickly because like they got to see that this man's alone. And the truth is, I think he might be too much of a gamer or thinks himself as a little too much of a gamer to be snatched up or to allow somebody to snatch him up. So I don't want him to be too cocky, and I hope that his name being out there sort of got him to realize that he needs to bring himself down.
I don't think that he's cocky at all. I think he's like the opposite. He actually reminds me a lot of like Gabby Pascuzzi, where she's like, oh, like she has it in her, but kind of lacks the self-confidence. And maybe we have a little of that with Owen. But we have this interesting scene where we have Janine and Ellie off in the woods, and they're like, are these boys and like strategizing? Like, what are they doing? Like to this scene of the three men back at camp, and oh hey, I'm Patrick Mahomes. Watch me throw this coconut into the forest. And Gabler's got his wrinkly ass feet up by the fire. But then Sammy is like, I've got to choose a direction, and I think I'm going to go with the guys. And I think this is a big, 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 big mistake for Sammy because I don't think that the guys are going to have his back. Because when it comes down to it, I think we're going to see Owen snitch him out, because that's what I would do if I were Owen. And I would tell the girls, like, oh, Sammy is trying to get an all guys alliance thing going here. And yeah, y'all are screwed.
Well, I liked the way that they handled it, because it was as if the girls were like, oh, are they strategizing, or are they like doing nothing? They got to be doing something. And the guys were like hanging out first. And then they were like, hey, since we're here, why don't we get together? Since we're here.
Yeah, I mean, this is coming from Sammy, and I don't feel like it was, we saw the awkwardness with Gabler and Owen in the first episode where Owen was like, yeah, if I hear your name. And Gabler had like 20 seconds of silence before he was like, oh yeah, I'll look out for you too. And I just don't feel like these are a three that necessarily gel. So
one of the difficulties in a tribe of six is that it's a tribe of six. And like what was Sammy's other alternative? Like the girls? Like there's no there aren't a lot of options. So he tried something. I can't shoot him for trying.
I think it's a great idea. I think you're right. Sammy says, look, we have the numbers. I don't really want to play a men versus women's game, but we have this commonality.
But I'm going to play a men versus women's game.
We have this commonality, and it just makes sense for us in this moment. And he's not wrong.
Well, it also just so happens to be that I will argue, outside of Sammy so far, the women are really on this tribe the strongest.
Like, the women in this game are the strongest.
I agree. Like the women are killing it, but of course Sammy doesn't know about this, right?
Well, but he does. I mean, he sees like, hey, these two girls are really, really tight. They're going to vote together. And I think Owen sees it like where Sammy is like, oh, those two are really, really tight. I should latch on to that, get through this, this tribe. Like, that's what I would do. Y'all are solid two. Hey, let me be a third. And let me jump on board with this. And I don't think that Sammy sees it. Sammy's like, oh, they're a solid two. I better scoop up the other two that are free.
But look, like the difficulty with this for me is actually like I don't have a problem with what Sammy did. The bigger problem is the fact that one of the three guys that, let's say, it would work is Gabler, and this man is not going to last. So like it's kind of the luck of the draw that he was put on this crappy tribe, amazing tribe, interesting tribe, but like one of the people he wants to align with or try to align with is going to quit soon. So like I
don't think he quits. I think he gets voted out, but I think it is sooner than later.
Yeah. I don't think
which is why to me the strategy for him would be to actually go with the girls. Or because then he's saying, look, I don't know, Gabler, what the hell are we going to do? Like, we're going to keep on losing. We're going to keep on losing. We're going to keep on losing.
All right. Well, let's get into this immunity challenge.
Not just immunity. We're also playing for reward, baby. Fishing gear.
I have to say, for an hour and a half episode, I was not upset that we only had one challenge. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily upset with only one challenge anymore. No. Like, I'm good. Let's combine reward and immunity, especially in the tribal setting. Like there's so many people, we don't know them all yet. Like until it gets to the individual portion, I don't need an individual reward, or an individual reward challenge, separate reward challenge. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, but this immunity challenge, y'all, how many like innuendos can Jeff drop? Because let me just tell you, I wrote some of them down.
I don't even hear them anymore.
We are going to be wrestling 400 pounds of Survivor Snake. And I did see somebody say, okay, enough about Chris Underwood.
I did see that on the internet too.
So wins.
I did see that.
They're trying to get that snake up. He's hanging on to the snake like he's riding it. These are all comments from Jeff during this challenge. And I'm not mature enough. I'm not.
Yeah, I have a dirty mind, and I didn't hear that way either. I just saw a snake, and he was talking about a snake.
Yeah.
Kylie, what's wrong with you? You need to get some?
It was so many. There were so many comments, and I just couldn't.
Yeah, I said it, Kevin. I said it.
What he said, I didn't hear him.
He said, "What's wrong? I need to get some." You let your husband know that you're deprived over there.
You need a night? Do you need a night? You want me to watch the girl?
Anyway,
I'll come over.
Anyway, all right. So, yes, we have this challenge. We've seen it many times before. They do have to navigate this giant snake.
Wait, I've never seen this challenge.
Yeah, they did it.
This is a hard challenge.
With this giant snake?
Edge of Extinction.
I do not remember this. This is phenomenal. I love this challenge.
It's hard.
I don't remember. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember a lot of challenges, but I've seen this 3 times. This is a shock that I don't remember this one, because I love the fact that they had to manhandle this giant snake and like lift it up, and then watching the different techniques to pull it over.
I mean, Cody gave it his all. Like, this man was hanging on the snake. He was riding it, as Jeff said.
But like watching what Ryan.
Ryan is an absolute beast.
That dude's a beast. I can't believe at one point he wasn't gonna be able to walk. Like, this dude is over here just lifting the snake and really the powerhouse of his tribe.
Yeah.
And they have to then pull it through the sand. Man, you know what though? Poor NECA. You know what I'm saying? Like, she getting in where she can fit in.
And I mean, I'm not trying to call out people over a certain age, because I'm of a certain age, but we saw NECA struggle. You saw Gabler struggle. There was a time where Lindsay was like, "Whoo, Lord." And so maybe like the 3 older people of the cast all seem to be a little winded from this one. And I did comment that I do not like that they have made these tribal immunity challenges almost impossible to do without strong men. And it almost guarantees them getting further into the game and to merge, because you don't want to keep losing. I mean, yes, you could have that mindset of like, hey, I've got 3 people like Ricard and Shan, whatever, where it's fine if we keep going back because I'm not going to get voted out. But most people don't want to keep going to tribal councils. And if you do not have a Ryan to lift that motherfucker out of the water, or Cody that is going to hang off the side of it, you're not physically going to be able to complete these challenges.
I like the fact that Sammy 19 was up Gabler's ass once again.
I'm not.
His performance. I love it, because Gabler is not meant for this game. And watching Sammy come at him 2 times in a 2 challenges in a row, we need you to pick it up.
It was actually Owen that said that. I had to go back and watch it.
The both of them coming on at Gabler, because it was Sammy in the first challenge, I believe, episode 1.
Sammy on the first one.
They're like, Gabler, if you're going to be here, you gotta be here, dog.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I don't completely agree with you, Kylie, although I think you're right, but the reason I don't completely agree with you is that this challenge is placed in the second round. So at most, only 1 guy would have left. I think it would have been a very different thing if this is a challenge 5 tribals from now. But the fact that most of everybody would have all of their guys.
Well, we will just keep our eyes on it, and we will see what happens with the
100%.
challenges as they go on.
But I will say though that I don't know if this is a nice thing to say, so I'll say it anyways. The caliber of physical strength of contestants overall in the new era of Survivor has gone down. It doesn't seem that the challenges, the level of difficulty of challenges has gone down. So that means that somebody like a Gabler, somebody like a NECA, somebody like a Lindsay needs to take a heavier load than we would have seen them take before. So it makes sense that they're tired, and actually it seems to put more of a disadvantage to older people than maybe men. But like, yeah, that's the game. Go play. Go suffer.
That's the game. I mean, everyone's here. It's each season has like one strong man, a Jonathan, a Ryan, and then the rest of the people are pretty normal people.
But that's not the way it used to be. It used to be there was like a lot of big white dudes. Like that's what it was.
Was there? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about like a season. You think about the season that James Clement was there. He was like the strong man of the tribe, right? Like
remember those big idols? They were so big.
The seasons have like usually one or two strong strapping lads, and the rest are decently normal people.
I have to say, though, sorry, I just wanted to go back. Cody's idea of hanging, I was literally sitting there right before he did that thinking, I'm a really big guy. Why don't I just hang? And then he did it. I think that's a good challenge for a fat man.
I want to talk about something really important to me.
Yeah.
James's pants, right? He's having struggles with his pants in both these challenges. I don't know. He might just have to go with just underwear. Just straight up just underwear.
Just go with the underwear, James.
Because
take the pants off, go with the underwear, or give them their swimsuits, whatever.
Or get him a belt. Get him a belt. Let him wear a belt. Keep his pants.
Yeah, he's struggling.
Well, if he ever gets to meet Cody will be able to like make a belt for him out of those palm prawns or whatever.
We'll talk about the palm prawn hat in a minute. Let's get back to the challenge though.
All right. Okay, so we get to this puzzle and we see the Coco tribe whipping through it. We see the Baka tribe whipping through it, but our little red tribe over here, they're struggling. And
watching what's her face just shout. What's her name? What's her name with the no leg?
Noelle.
Yeah, she's intense.
And she's intense, and she's yelling about first at NECA, then she's yelling at their like.
Look, she's an athlete, but I have to say she's sitting on the bench. So shut your mouth. Like that's a lot. If you're not being a cheerleader, you're not being helpful.
They have to move the snake, and then they have to like do a code thing. Then they have to get a puzzle piece. You got to take the puzzle piece out the bag. NECA drops the bag with the puzzle piece.
I mean, NECA was doing good to be on 2 feet. Let's be honest, because she got that bag. She was like, "Ooh, I'm just going to drop it right here. I'm not worried about this puzzle piece." And that puzzle piece wouldn't help them.
That's what I was about to say. Dwight mentions the puzzle piece, and then Justine's like, "Oh, sure, it would have went right there, bruh. Y'all were nowhere near finishing this puzzle."
No. But hold on, I don't know if that's true because I think that one puzzle piece was an important piece of the puzzle. So I don't know.
The other two tribes that were so far ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there is a part where they weren't making any progress. And I think that puzzle piece was the reason.
Sheldon, at one point, NECA though was turning the puzzle piece all the different, trying to put it in this way.
Like,
go down,
and then she like rotates it again, and he was no.
Look, I have to say, I adore NECA, and I really hope she's around for a while because I feel like we haven't seen enough of her. Yeah. But she is going to be such a challenge liability. Like it is really, I really, really like her, and I don't want her to go, but she won't stay.
Yeah,
it sucks.
All right, so we do see them lose. Bessie Tribe will be going to tribal council. And let me tell you another reason why I love Cody, okay? Let me tell you. So Jeff says,
did you tell your husband about this yet?
Oh, yeah, he does. Okay. Jeff says, Cody, like, how far into the beach before y'all start strategizing? He's like, like 20 seconds. Like, this sucks, but, because we're going to lose a part of our Ohana. And I was like, did this motherfucker just bust out some Lilo and Stitch? And he did. Ohana means family.
It's Hawaiian. It's not Lilo and Stitch. It's Hawaiian.
It's Lilo and Stitch. And he is quoting Lilo and Stitch.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not quoting Lilo and Stitch. The word Ohana means family in Hawaiian.
You are such a southern white girl. It's insane. It's insane. Kylie, this is crazy.
No, but in all seriousness, I freaking love that he just busts out Ohana.
He's Hawaiian to his core.
He is not Hawaiian. He's from Iowa.
But he's Hawaiian in his heart. In his heart and in his soul, he's Hawaiian. I mean, in fact, he makes his hat that Sheldon keeps talking about. And then Jeff says, Where did you think of this hat? He's like, I watch people sell to the tourists in Hawaii. I learned from one of the guys that makes it in Hawaii.
Yeah, I learned from one of my Ohana. I love him. Okay. All right.
Kylie, I can't believe you said that out loud. You're crazy. I love it.
Lilo and Stitch. Anyway, so they go to their beach, and it's time to get right into strategy. Obviously, Neko was the weakest link in this challenge for a multitude of reasons. And this is where I think Jesse is making problems in this game. For himself.
100%.
So we get right to them discussing strategically what to do. As they all know, Dwight doesn't have a vote. So the girls want to take out NECA. First and foremost, terrible move when NECA says, what are you ladies thinking? And they're like, I don't know. We got to talk to the guys. We got to see what they're thinking. Oh, so that means me. My bad. I didn't realize that's what we were thinking about doing. Okay, so me? Cool. Good to know. What a misplay.
Yeah, that, and NECA clocked it too. She was like, yeah, obviously the girls are gonna be writing my name down because they don't even want to talk to me and they won't look me in the eye. They are avoiding me. Like, they're doing a really, really terrible job.
Can I? Okay. I'm gonna. Cold Shelly's back. The reason why the girls wanted NECA out was because of her challenge and ability.
Yeah.
There was a girl who sat on the bench. Why didn't they want Noelle out? I don't understand. I don't get it.
What do you mean?
Well, like, so look, if you're making an argument that you should be voting out a person who might not be able to help you in future challenges, well, I'm sorry, Noelle might be one of those people too, isn't she?
Yeah.
Like I'm not, like, my point is, I don't actually think that Noelle should go, but if you're making the argument that a person's ability is the reason why they should be voted out, why wasn't Noelle brought up as somebody to vote out as well?
Because Noelle's the one bringing up Nick's ability. I'm not really sure what you're saying.
So I think my point is
that obviously they chose Noelle to sit out. Like, I'm going to just spell it out. I'm just going to say it bluntly.
She has one leg.
They chose Noelle to sit out because she has one leg. She would have probably not been able to perform as well in that specific challenge. So why aren't they even discussing Noelle as an option if they're discussing?
I think my bigger question is, if somebody comes to me and says you're not good enough for the challenges, Sheldon, I would say, hey, you know who's on your side who's not good enough for the challenges? The person that we had to sit out.
So this is the thing I don't understand from you guys' argument. The people bringing up the ability to do well, the challenge ability, was
the girl.
Noelle. Yeah. So the guys were not voting based on challenge ability at all.
Exactly.
So that's why Noelle wasn't an option. It was all based on long-term.
I guess what I'm saying is, I guess I'm saying 2 points. Point number one if that was the girl's logic, why didn't NECA say the same thing back? And I think the reason for that is NECA's actually a good human being, and she would never do that. Like
I don't think that makes him a bad human being, though, Sheldon.
But my second point is I don't fully understand why Noelle was so keen to point out NECA's inability to complete the challenge if she herself couldn't complete the challenge.
Because she's not in the group, and they don't want to get rid of the guys because they need tribe strength. So NECA's the easy vote. I'm not really sure what you're saying. It was pretty self-explanatory to me. So for Noelle, it's an easy decision. We're not aligned with NECA. The guys, we need them for their strength. I set out, but I, even with one leg, would have done better than she did with 2 legs. So, and she says, like, I would have done it with my leg on or whatever. Like that. So she's saying I with one leg is better than her with 2. So obviously they're gonna bring up NECA. And then you said that NECA, why did she not counter? Because NECA's not thinking about challengeability because NECA knows that she is the worst in the challenges.
Yes.
So
I have to say, I think my other problem with the, I probably just sounded like a big dick, but that's fine. I didn't mean to sound like a big dick, but I don't actually understand why Noelle did sit, because I don't think it was. I think that wasn't something that I think they could have foreshadowed what happened.
I think Noelle sat because she had to climb a structure, drop into the water, climb another structure, drop back into the water. I don't know if that's all good for that leg.
Yep.
I also think, though, it's difficult as an able-bodied person to look at someone with a disability and be okay voting them out first.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100%.
I mean, it's hard because I do feel like if Noelle was voted out first in that circumstance, it would be because she had a disability.
Yeah.
However, by the same token, like, you are playing a game for $1 million and you want to not go to tribal councils as often as possible. And coming in that your disability is going to be front and center and it could be a liability for you.
And the truth is, I am not. She's a killer athlete, right? Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I was a little bit confused as to why she didn't actually compete in that. Yeah, I think, Kevin, you're right that it would have been really difficult for her. Fine, but I just struggle that. Like, I think the upside would have been higher with her competing.
Legitimately, I think it's the functionality of the climbing, the dropping, and then the reclimbing. Like those functions are probably difficult with the leg. Now, if she's running, if she's jumping, if she's doing things on land, she's in the challenge. But it's being in the water.
So what happens next time when she can't sit out?
As long as she's not climbing, the likelihood that
well, then she does what she can do. And I mean, I'm sure she would have got up that cage, but
Yeah, look, I actually kind of like her. She reminds me of every athlete I know.
I don't like her.
Highly focused.
Oh, Sheldon, hold on. Kiley, go in. Talk to us.
I don't like her because I think that she is an athlete, and you get that from everything that she does, and like how livid she was at NECA.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember that ultimately, this isn't the challenge. This is a social strategic game.
This is the noise. Oh, it's not.
And how frustrated she was. I was like, no, baby, just.
Look, I guess my real question is, why Justine over Noelle? I think they made.
We'll get into that right now because, the girls want NECA. Jesse is much more concerned about Justine.
Well, before we even get to that, though, let's wrap up our Baca Beach because
Yes.
very, very rarely we get this where we are after an immunity challenge and we are going to go back to one of the winning beaches. And they take us back to the Baca Beach. And I was like, hold up, what's happening here? And we get, Gabler with the fishing equipment. And
oh my gosh, he's like, I know how to spear fish, but him with this Hawaiian sling, he's gonna lose the thing.
Yeah, and Ellie's like, it's gonna shoot off into like the great yonder, and we're never gonna see it again.
Yeah, for sure, it's going to be gone. Gabler's gonna lose this thing. He's not gonna get any fish. It's gonna be a problem. But while he's there, they're discussing voting him out already, and they're not even going to tribal.
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. This dude sucks, and this tribe knows it. And
so we got to get rid of him.
Yes, and they're like, the fact that they're discussing sending him home when we're not going to tribal tonight. That's what they're like. Hey, good thing is he won't have to worry about that immunity idol. And they're like, but does he though? Because I think it's like the first two that he's there. Owen's like 100%. Nope. This is the second one. It said the next one. We're good to go. We're good to go.
But to take a little peek, and that is not correct. It is good for his first two tribal councils. That is an extremely powerful thing whenever you are now on a tribe of 5 and it protects you at your next tribal council and he's guaranteed to play it.
Yep.
It was ridiculous that they didn't send him home the first time when he said he wasn't going to play it.
Yeah.
100%.
Straight up.
100,000%.
They put themselves in this spot.
Yeah.
And he's weak. And what's interesting also is that we didn't have them take anybody away this time either. So like is it just going to be sporadic?
Yes.
Yes. Like that's really interesting.
Well, because of what the thing is, not like just a lose. It's not just like an extra vote. You know what I'm saying? So this is the very powerful things that are there. So it changes the amount of time you need people to go. But I want to get back to this. They sent home Mariah because they said they're talking about tribe strength. Gabler lost the challenge for them the first time. Gabler lost the challenge the first time.
Or Janine, one of them.
Gabler goes into there and says, I'm not going to play my idol, though I'm guaranteed to be safe, but I'm going to play my shot in the dark, which is already stupid. The idol keeps you 100% safe. The shot in the dark has you not having a vote and keeping you only safe for 1 in 6 chance of being safe. So that's already dumb based on numbers. Secondly, he already tells them he's not playing the idol. That's good for 2 tribal councils. Cool. Appreciate it, homie. Take that as a souvenir on your way out. Because you just told us you're not playing it. We know you have it. We're looking for tribe strength. You were not good.
Yeah, well, that's not what they decided to do. Mariah's gone.
So can I, aren't, again, sorry to be trying to foreshadow here, aren't we very simply going to, he's about to quit. Before he quits, he's about to quit. Somebody is going to convince him to give them the power.
No.
I think that's what we're waiting for.
Sheldon, I never thought you were high until right now. This is the most contrived thing. No, he's not going to quit, but also someone's not going to convince him to give them the idol. But I think it's ridiculous that we're going through his bag to figure out the mechanics of the idol now when you had a clear shot at him before.
Yeah. Well, can I just say how much I love
some of that could be like, hey, first impressions, like Gabler's doing a lot around camp and, he is a man and Mariah, we deem her to be the weakest, whether or not that's true or not, that's how we see it. And then, 2 days later, you're like, oh, damn, we made a mistake. We can't unwind it. We can't bring Mariah back, but let's rectify it.
But if this was 41 or 42, we got an hourglass, baby, and we could turn back time. I'm just
If I could turn back. Okay. I love Janine here. I felt like this was the coming out of Janine, and we finally saw her start to play. And I was really I can't wait. I want more.
Well, I think it was a real good episode for Janine and for the other girl. What's her name?
Ellie.
Ellie.
Ellie's going far, folks.
Yeah.
She is danger.
Yeah.
I thought it was a real good scene for both of them because it shows that they're like aware and they're kind of pulling in Owen also. Bad misread by Owen though about the idol. Bad misread. I'm glad that Janine went into the bag, and even though she's like, I think these people are cheating, but guys, once you're out here, you know,
gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, and I'm glad we did it because we were wrong, and we can't get rid of this fool next time. Even though we really, 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 really want to.
Yeah.
And
so that's interesting. But all right, let's go back to the Bessie Beach. And once again, this is where we get our boy Jesse strategizing and really kind of being put on the spot of he's telling Cody and NECA, like, I'm with y'all. He's kind of telling the girls, I'm with y'all. This is where y'all think he's ever playing?
1,000,000%, because he just told his work wife that Dwight, I'm with you. Let's do what we got to do together. Also, Dwight, we're all well aware that you don't have a vote. We're all aware you don't have a vote. So it is crucially important that I vote for us because obviously there's 3 pairs here because those 2 are a pair. Cody and NECA are a pair. I have linked us up to be a pair. So we are going to vote together.
Okay, so here is where I like what Jesse does. Jesse obviously feels closer with Cody and NECA. And so he's like, hey, I want my island wife, Dwight, to see the light of day. And I need him to come onto my side. And unfortunately, Dwight does not see the game that way. But Jesse's like, I don't want to go with these girls. And then Dwight has this other option. And so he makes the move to cut off Dwight's other path. And that's
while keeping his own other path, though. That's where the problem is, right? He's more concerned with Dwight having other options than it being obvious that he has other options to Dwight. That's the problem here. So because those 2 girls were not necessarily solidified options for Dwight. Correct?
Yeah.
So with them not being solidified options because the 2 of them are in the middle, he can get rid of NECA, pull in Cody, and then the 3 of them can go, whatever. The 3 of them can go together. But if this is your idol, your island wife, whatever, you cannot tell Dwight, we're working together, but I'm afraid that you have other options. So I'm going to vote with my other options.
Yeah. I kind of agree. Kevin, I 100% agree with you, except for one point. I am not certain that Cody seems extremely emotional to me. I'm not certain if somebody votes NECA out that Cody forgives. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cody joins the girls, and then it would be Dwight and Jesse.
But I don't think the girls go after Dwight and Jesse if they voted with them though. Like I think Dwight can talk to the girls about how Cody's a wild card, and then they can get rid of Cody. The point is though, you can't tell Dwight this thing and then at the vote of 17 make this move. There's 17 people left in this game.
I agree. This is bad gameplay, bad long-term gameplay.
Yes,
like he was making a final 5 move at
17. I don't.
You said you talk to me, Kylie.
So,
give me the counter.
Basically, he's positioned himself here in the middle, where that's his social gameplay, where everybody feels good with Jesse. The girls feel good with Jesse. Dwight feels good with Jesse. Cody and NECA feel good with Jesse. He has put himself into the middle, and he has the unique situation of being in the duo that doesn't have 2 votes. And so he has to make a decision here. There has to be a line drawn because Dwight fucked up and lost his vote. This is Dwight's fault.
He didn't fuck up.
So Jesse has to make a decision. He has to go with the girls, or he has to go with Cody and NECA.
But why? Okay, so if he has to make a decision, Kylie, why doesn't he get Dwight convinced
on board with the decision,
or at least let Dwight know? Or at least
I can't answer that, because from what we see, they're having this conversation. They are like deep in the middle of like, hey, I want to run this by you. I want us to be on the same page. And here comes Justine interrupting the conversation.
But Jesse said right then,
that's the end of their conversation.
Well, Jesse says right then, from what I could read, Dwight's not on board with this. So then if Dwight's not on board with this, and this is your number one, you're telling him, you can't make this move.
You're telling him, but that doesn't mean that is what Jesse really ultimately wants to do.
Jesse's the one having the confessional saying, I'm going to go make this dude my work wife.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it was Jesse wanted. Look, I think a lot of this was that Jesse kind of had no choice. Like, yes, I want to go make this guy my work wife, but maybe they were maybe in Jesse's mind, Dwight was just accessible, and that's why Dwight became
kind of like Monty and Taylor.
We're not talking Big Brother.
I'm gonna make Monty my house.
We're not talking Big Brother.
It's not here.
Maybe, honest to goodness, Jesse didn't really want to work with Dwight, and it just so happened that he was there and didn't, that was what he did.
But why commit to him on day 5 and then betray him on day 6?
I don't think you're betraying him, because we don't see Jesse tell Dwight, I am voting off NECA. We don't see him saying that. All we get from their conversation is them talking about.
Not to jump ahead, but we saw the tribal council.
Okay, but we have them talking about the 2 options, and Jesse is saying, here are my concerns about Justine, not here are my concerns about NECA. So you know which way he is leaning, and it's his vote. Dwight doesn't have the vote.
Can both of you actually be right?
No.
I honestly think that you both can be right, and I think Jesse's fault is that he overcommitted to Dwight too early, and then was in the middle of these 2 groups and decided, listen, I made this final 2, I made this wife, I made this whatever. I don't actually want to be with her. I want to, I'm over it. So I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do.
I think that
the overcommitment was the mistake. I'm not sure the move was the mistake.
I think it's a lot different if Dwight has his vote, because then I think you see the 2 of them vote together and make a decision. But with Dwight not having his vote, he took what he wanted to do.
I'm sorry. I have to say that Dawn, she agrees with me. So that's all I care about. She said, yes, Sheldon.
You just throw that up there. Sheldon in general.
I have to.
The biggest, so we see him make this move. We see Justine come and tell Jesse, are you really with us? Because I feel like I'm not really sure about you. Like, you're saying you are, and I can feel like you're not really there. Because, he wasn't. She had a fantastic read based on his own, actions, that he wasn't really about it. And she could tell from the jump. Yeah. Well, this makes him feel even more concerned, but all it is a confirmation bias, right? Because he's already saying that he wants Justine gone because she told him she was good at lying. Cool. Everyone's playing a game. Everyone's decent at lying. She just said that, hey, in confidence, because I'm working with you, I think I can go convince someone else to do this other thing that we need them to do. And it wasn't directed at him. She wasn't coming for him. She's telling him this in confidence. So for him to decide at 17, she is too dangerous to be in this game for him. This is why it's ridiculous to me. I want to make sure it's clear, Kylie. The reason I think this move is dumb is not because of the move itself, but because of the timing. At 17, it's the first vote on this tribe. The first vote on this tribe. If you can take out NECA and still be chill with the majority of the people left in the game, you're good to go. By him making the move against Justine, he's not with the majority because 2 are upset with him and 2 are not. Before, 3 would have been fine with him and 1 would have not been. That's the difference.
Okay, but those aren't the people that he felt good with, though. That's the problem. Is why would you vote off somebody that you trust and you feel comfortable working with.
Because it's been 4 days.
Okay, but exactly. You've got to
You
start
trusting
somewhere.
Dwight already
Why
changed.
why would you vote off the person that you feel good about? That makes no sense. It makes no sense.
How good could he have felt if those two are closer? If there are 3 pairs, she's already committed to someone. She already has a husband.
This is the narrative that there are 3 pairs.
Okay, I gotta stop both of you.
These
Why?
3 have been close from the get-go.
I gotta stop both of you because you'll never agree about anything. I have to give a little props to Justine because we see when she goes up, to the Jets, we saw the villain I wanted. The person who came in and was completely blunt, completely honest, completely in your face. And at that moment, I'm like, darn, she's going home. Because like it was just so sad because that's what I want on Survivor. Like I wanted this no BS person and they voted her out. Why? Want her. Give me more Justine. Bring her back.
It was because Cody said she's a salesperson. And salesperson people are bad. Even though Cody's a salesperson.
I love her.
All right, so let's get into the rest of this with Cody. So, hey, it's decided. We're going to vote off Justine. I don't have anything else to do. I'm kind of bored. I'm going to go search for an idol. And even though I know what happens with these Beware advantages, I still can't help myself. And I'm going to pick this package up. So here's what I need to know before we go any further. He finds the Beware advantage. It says, you take it, you have to do it. If not, leave it. Could he hide it, though? Could he actually not take possession of it?
I don't think so. I think he has to leave it exactly where it's at. But I think I leave it, and then after the vote, I come back and get it.
Yeah.
I loved everything about this.
Everything about this.
Such a genius twist.
Yeah, it was really fun. It reminded me of like the extortion advantage that Tony got in Winners at War, where he had to get, the fire tokens from people. It was, kind of that same vibe. And I mean, Cody honestly doesn't do the work here. It's NECA.
It's NECA. She and
because her NECA is on the line.
Yes. Like it was so amazing. And it was just so cute and fun and cheeky. And the only part about it I don't like is that they can only do it once again.
So 44. What you guys are talking about is that in order to the Beware advantage is back in order to do the idols. At the moment, there's nothing about saying any crazy words. What it is that you have to every person has a bead on their bags that they gave them on Survivor. You have to grab the beads, weave, and then you have to weave them together to make an immunity bracelet, which is what's going to keep you safe, which I think is also genius. By having it as a bracelet in plain sight, you can have it and wear it with you at all times, and no one knows that's what that is. So that was genius. So they have the immunity bracelet. Well, in order for you to get the immunity, you have to convince each of your tribe mates to give you their immunity bead willingly. You can't take it, you can't steal it. You got to convince them that they can give it to you. And you can't vote until you have collected all the beads like Thanos. So in order to get all the infinity beads, he has to go to work. He knows that Jesse's going to give him the bead immediately. He knows NECA will give him the bead. That's 2. Doesn't think Dwight's going to do it because Dwight wants to leave with some cool stuff. Yeah. Understandable. That's really dope. You got that on the island. I get it. He gets back, and he has to figure out a way to get this done.
I immediately, like as soon as I have these beads, I looked at my husband and I was like, he can get them for his hat. Like, this is so easy.
Earlier in the episode, he made this like hat thing, and they talked about it. Who knew that was Chekhov's hat? I did not. I did not expect that hat to come back, but sure enough, it does. And he thinks of a pretty smart way. I don't know if he thought of it. I don't know if Jesse thought of it, but they were going to bead out his hat as the reason why he needs the beads. And I thought it was great that they were able to use it in real time by him saying, hey, I want to snazzy up this hat, but I need some beads to do it. Jesse, can I have your beads? Even though Jesse already had the conversation. Jesse's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Here's my beads. Nneka says, you can have my beads too. So that's two. That's two of the Infinity Stones. We need 3 more.
Justine over here sitting on the chopping block. Cody, you can have my beads too.
Yeah, because that looks fun. We're just hanging out. You want those beads? Those Infinity beads? Here they are. And so he hands them the beads. So he has 3 Infinity Stones. He then says to Dwight, who they thought was going to be the tough cookie, hey, you want to be a part of this thing, man? You want to help us out? He's like, why not? I'm chilling. Sure. Here's the beads, because they think nothing of it. 4 of the 5 are collected. And I loved this editing choice because they then ask Noelle. And she's like, nah, man, I made a bracelet. I'm good. I'm chilling with these beads. And we go to tribal council.
And I mean, I am losing it because once again, I'm in love with Cody. And I'm like, bitch, give him your bracelet. Take those beads off, give them to him so he can have his vote back, because I was not live. And so I did not know how much time was left in the episode. I was like, oh my God, they're going to go to Rocks and we're going to lose. We're going to lose Cody here.
Yeah. So one of the things that worked out in Cody's favor here is that he's Cody. And I think that if it would have been another player, they like this strategy just fundamentally wouldn't have worked, especially when they're, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours away from tribal council. Like the fact that like it's such a Cody thing to do that I'm almost going to tribal council. I might be voted out. I want beads for my hat. Like it's just so perfectly worked out.
Perfect for him. It was great.
And great TV. And I loved I want more of it.
Great TV.
They can't do it again after 44, but I hope they do it in 44 so bad.
Well, they then go to the thing and we're going to Rocks. I loved it. We're then at tribal council. And at tribal, Kylie, tell us about tribal. Did anything important
well, first
happen
of all, 2 things, because I had to go back and watch the premiere episode again. And like I watched this on my phone as opposed to watching it on the TV, and I have a really, really terrible vision. So sometimes I miss like details of things whenever it's on the TV. But them walking into tribal council and it's like the whale ribs, like on the little bridge. And then their torches with the skeleton hands. I was like, okay, this is really badass. Completely missed those the first time. So just wanted to point out those little details that I really liked. All right, so we get to tribal council and Jeff immediately is like, yo, Cody, what's that hat you're wearing?
He's like, I made this hat. I learned in Hawaii about making these hats from palm fronds. I made this hat and I decked it out with these immunity beads. I mean, these cool bead things.
Yeah, and all my friends contributed. And Justine is like, basically what this comes down to is we have these duos. Me and Noelle, we linked up day 1, like we are best friends, da-da-da-da-da. And then, Cody and Nneka, and then we don't know what's happening with Dwight and Jesse over here. But y'all need to be most concerned with Cody and Nneka. And I was like, does she not realize that she talked about, like, me and Noelle, we hit it off immediately. And
it was obvious.
Well, I know that, but that is not the point that you want to sell. You don't.
Everyone knew it. It was an open secret.
The mistake wasn't pointing it out. The mistake was actually making it an open secret in the first place. So that
was an open secret all along. Yeah, it would have been a secret.
I don't think they did anything but sit with each other and walk with each other and drink with each other.
Yeah. Correct. But Nneka and Cody though have been doing the same thing. Let's not pretend like they haven't. Like
I was like, oh baby, like don't harp on like day one, ride or dies. But those are the 2 you need to worry about. I just felt like that was a misstep.
How? If it's an open secret and everyone knows that there's 2 pairs, it's our pair against that pair. That's what we're looking at here. And they know that. Everyone's aware of what's happening here. Okay. Right? Because Justine goes for Jesse.
I'm not going to harp on we're the tightest pair. I'm going to harp on, hey, we had a challenge today and Nneka struggled greatly.
Jesse is already aware of where Jesse's supposed to be voting with us, right? Jesse's already supposed to be voting with us because he has the 1 vote. he's a different pair. Why not mention the pairs? We know that there's 3 pairs here.
Well, we know that there's for sure 2 pairs, and I'm not certain how much they know about the other 2 being close or not, but I had no problem with her bringing it up today, actually, last night, actually, at all, because the mistake was made in the past. Like, now it's too late. Now
we're already here.
You're stuck. So unless you have a big breakup or a fake breakup, or like you're done. It's over.
You can't unring the bell.
No.
Sure, but I don't think that the other 2 being like, they're way closer than us. We're not the 2 you need to worry about. I don't think that's a valid argument. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you 2 a question a little bit off topic. A little bit. It's about this tribe though. Would you want to have a pair with NECA? Would you want to be in a pair with NECA?
No.
No. So and I guess the question stems from this idea of, I was sort of thinking, if I was on this tribe, who would I probably be closest with? And it would probably be NECA. I think me and NECA would hit it off very, very well. But I also, as I'm looking at this tribe, know that is a really bad partner. It is not a good person to play the game with.
It's someone that's hard to be in the game with in the tribal setting. I think once you're in an individual setting, she's not a bad person to be with. But
she's the best person to be with.
But
I disagree. She's the best, because right now she's going to go home before you, but you can't really strategize with it because she's the weakest. But once you get to the other part, you're going to go home before her because you're the bigger threat than she is.
Well, that's also actually a really interesting point, Kevin. Like the truth is, between her and Cody, she's going first, right? So and then especially if you got these two separate sides, you become the swing. So I don't know, maybe it's actually a smart thing what Cody has done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I'm thinking you have these greats in Suri and Sandra, and they're kind of weaker challenge performers, and so if you put them into a 6-person tribe setting, would that be necessarily who you would want to be duoed up with?
I mean, Suri was in a 5-person tribe setting.
Yeah, she was on whatever the game.
And she almost got voted out first.
Yeah, she almost got voted out first. That's but she maneuvered herself to be safe with Timbertina.
Yeah,
it's.
I mean, and NECA has done that, and so I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that NECA is going to be a Suri or a Sandra, but
I feel like you guys do sometimes. Like the way you and Sheldon be making these correlations between greats, it always concerns me. Because you mentioned unicorns in our preview episode and mentioned Tony and Cody in the same breath.
So one thing I will say though is that NECA has not. I am actually more impressed with NECA today than I was before. Again, I'm not going to say she's Suri. I'm not saying that, but she clearly read what was going on with the girls when the girls didn't answer the question directly.
Yeah.
She clearly got a lot of these people to give them the beads so that the person who would one day actually save her, and I believe Cody would use that on her one day if need be, so that he has the power. It's not like she's actually strange, and she survived almost going home. She's actually somehow has a bit of a resume already.
Seeing how you are cutting to the chase, we get to the vote, and the vote comes out, and it's 2 votes. It's 1 vote for NECA first. Then there's a vote for Justine. Then a vote for Cody, which is a little bit of a shocker. Then another vote for Justine. Right? At this point, and I love this editing. At this point, I'm thinking these are the numbers. It's 2-1-1. Jeff was supposed to say well, no, it's 2-1-1. Jeff was supposed to say, and next person voted out, but he doesn't. We then flashback to NECA saying to Noelle, you should give him the beads for the thing. And she's like, okay, here it is. And she gives it. So Cody does, in fact, have a vote. The vote comes out. Justine goes home. Immediately, Dwight looks at Jesse and says, "You did it?" And he says, "Yeah, man." This is why this is a dumb move, because he's blindsided. The guy that you said is your number one is blindsided. How are you going to blindside your number one ally at 17?
Yeah. Yep. We've talked about this. This is.
The reason I'm bringing this up here though is because of Dwight's reaction to this. Dwight says we'll talk about it later. The fact that Dwight is so upset about this means that, as Kiley was saying earlier, we don't know what conversations were had. We know that this one wasn't had based on his reaction. Based on this reaction alone.
100%. And I think this might be the end of Jesse's game potentially. Like, I think this might be the beginning of the end. And time will tell. I don't know. But
he has a long way to
go. Certainly setting up some type of a war. Setting that up.
In the next time on Survivor, we see Jesse saying, "I'll sign the divorce papers. Like, let's go." Jesse has made his decision. So
he says that, and Dwight also says about marriage having to be worked out through some couples therapy. Like, they're going to have to discuss this.
Can I ask a rules question? Maybe y'all know. So last night, because the girls split their vote, Justine would have left anyways. Am I wrong? Justine would have left anyways, even if Cody didn't have a vote. Am I right?
So they were expecting Jesse to vote with them. So if Jesse had voted with them, it would have been 2 votes on NECA, 2 votes on.
But Jesse didn't do that.
Right.
So if everything went to plan, Cody, if everything went just as the votes went yesterday, except the one difference was that Cody didn't have his vote, Justine would have still gone home. Yes?
If it was 2-1-1, yeah, because they split. No, because no. Because the second Justine vote is a NECA vote.
Okay, fine. So let me ask the question. Let's say Justine goes out. Let's say he wouldn't have gotten Justine's bead. But then Justine left, so he can't actually get her bead anymore.
I was wondering about that.
He now has all 5 beads. Does that mean he now has an idol and he has a vote just by voting her out?
I was wondering the same thing. I was like, do you need to have all of the beads of the people remaining in the game, or do you need all of the beads of everyone in the game?
I bet it's probably remaining in the game. So
basically,
if they would have voted Noelle out, would he have been like, boom, next tribal, I got a vote and I got an idol?
Exactly.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
That's part of the reason why I was like, why weren't they thinking about Noelle? Like, what?
I mean, that was last minute.
That was right before tribal. Yeah, that was right before tribal.
Yeah. But that's
we're not going to
next time on Survivor.
So
Justine goes home. Justine goes home. I feel like Jesse made a terrible move. Probably one of the worst moves I've seen so early, though it's a great move in theory. I'm thinking it's a bad move. I think it's bad for his game. Kiley doesn't think it's bad for his game. I think time will tell. We'll see what happens in the next episode. We see that there's going to be some friction. There's some other things that they set up with Carla and them. That's what's next on Survivor. No, what else? Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Did you have more? What was going on with Carla?
You're asking me?
Yeah, you see it. Did you write it down? I don't know.
No, I can't remember, and I watched it twice. Don't remember. I can't remember what happens with Carla. She was running through the forest.
Sometimes I wonder if, like, next time on Survivor is a better show than Real Survivor. Like, it's really, really captivating usually.
It's really good. 15 seconds. All right, but I thought it was a fun episode.
More than what's his name from Survivor, Kyle?
We're not talking about Big Brother, guys. We're talking about Survivor.
I'll talk about everything.
I thought it was a fun episode. We got character development, we got strategy, we got some of the shenanigans of a twist, even though we don't always love the twist sometimes, like also like in Big Brother, they sometimes work out despite themselves. And this is one of those examples where
This would have always worked out. This was
the
genius.
twist played out perfectly.
I think this is a great twist. I think this is a great twist. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about it for the next 2 seasons. They can't do it again, but I like the idea of like having to find or having to get something, because like in the future, I hope that they like say hidden in these locations is the pieces of the idol you need. You have to go get these pieces of the idol from these specific locations. Like I love that kind of concept.
One of the things I do really like about this twist is no, they won't be able to do this again in 45, 46 or whatever. But if anybody ever asks to play with beads, or can I have your bottle, or can I like it's the paranoia that I love.
You are so suspicious of everything. Like
I'll give you for example. So like I'll give you like for example, in the first episode, part of the competition, part of that initial whatever they were playing for Flint or whatever they were playing for, was one player from each tribe had to go somewhere where they weren't seen. If you remember from last season, what happened when that happened?
Yeah.
Drea, and I don't remember, and Romeo all got something from that. So to me, it's like this. They're adding this. If you're watching the show, the players are actually getting this added paranoia of, oh my god, this happened. Are they doing it? This
everything that happens, everything somebody does, you have to be like,
love it.
Ulterior motive here.
Love it.
It's fun.
So what did we learn? Kiley hates Noelle. That's what I learned.
I don't hate Noelle. I'm just not a Noelle fan. I love Cody.
Such an athlete.
We also learned that she thinks Jesse's strategy was smart, and Kevin thinks it's dumb.
Okay, folks, who's your favorite player so far? Kiley, Cody?
Yeah.
Kevin?
Cody is my favorite to watch, but I'm still rooting for Ryan.
My favorite player is still James, but I'm also really big on Owen.
What? No.
Yeah, I liked his inner dialogue. I liked how he was wrong about the thing because he's just such a fan and he's like messing things up and he's just anxious because he's nervous. And I like that nervous energy.
For me,
who's your favorite player?
For me, it's either Ellie or Janine. I really like Ellie. I have a feeling if we get more Janine content, I might fall in love with Janine.
I also like the kid.
Who's the kid? Which one? There's a lot of them.
Sammy.
Oh, I love me some Sammy. Kylie don't like no Sammy.
I hate the Gabler.
Wow, you don't like homosexual blurs?
What?
Okay.
Let's say Gabler. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right. Wrap us up, Kylie.
Okay, so we will be back live next Thursday to recap episode 3. I can't wait to see what we get from the newest episode. Hopefully some fun twist, another fun vote off, and lots to debate about. So if you are watching this later, you can drop us a comment below and let us know, whose side are you on, Kevin or Kylie's? Did Jesse make the right move or did he make the wrong move? Only time will tell.
Next week, Gio's going home. My prediction.
Sheldon, anything to add?
No, just take care of yourselves
and each other.
Love one another.
Kevin, what you got?
Find me at KG Fury. I'm doing some post Big Brother stuff, chatting about the 2020 season 24 and a half. As I say at Todrick's house once again. So I'm talking about that a little bit on the internet. Wow. Other than that, catch me back here next week, along with next week, CJ will be joining us as well.
Wow. Yeah, I'm so happy. Also, don't they want to go see their families? Well, why are they at some strange man's house? Go home.
All right. We will see all of you guys next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.